incredibly engaging and gave me the practical experience that I can apply in my career. I'm grateful for the opportunity to learn from the industry experts. So guys, don't miss your chance to be part of this AI revolution. Enroll in the LLM Ops Masterclass today and unlock your potential with Manifold AI Learning. In a world driven by innovation, where artificial intelligence is shaping the future, one academy stands at the forefront of technological advancement. Welcome to Manifold AI Learning, where we are proud to present the LLM Ops Masterclass. Join us on a transformative journey into the heart of AI operation as we delve deep into the ML Ops, generative AI, data science, and artificial intelligence. From understanding the fundamentals to mastering the advanced techniques, our comprehensive curriculum will empower you to excel in the dynamic world of AI. So these are some of the testimonials that we have got from our previous learners of this batch. The LLM Ops Masterclass completely revolutionized the way I approach the AI project. I feel confident tackling real-world challenges and driving the innovation in my field. Another learner says that the hands-on projects were incredibly engaging and gave me the practical experience that I can apply in my career. I'm grateful for the opportunity to learn from the industry experts. So guys, don't miss your chance to be part of this AI revolution. Enroll in the LLM Ops Masterclass today and unlock your potential with Manifold AI Learning. In a world driven by innovation, where artificial intelligence is shaping the future, one academy stands at the forefront of technological advancement. Welcome to Manifold AI Learning, where we are proud to present the LLM Ops Masterclass. Join us on a transformative journey into the heart of AI operation as we delve deep into the ML Ops, generative AI, data science, and artificial intelligence. From understanding the fundamentals to mastering the advanced techniques, our comprehensive curriculum will empower you to excel in the dynamic world of AI. So these are some of the testimonials that we have got from our previous learners of this batch. The LLM Ops Masterclass completely revolutionized the way I approach the AI project. I feel confident tackling real-world challenges and driving the innovation in my field. Another learner says that the hands-on projects were incredibly engaging and gave me the practical experience that I can apply in my career. I'm grateful for the opportunity to learn from the industry experts. So guys, don't miss your chance to be part of this AI revolution. Enroll in the LLM Ops Masterclass today and unlock your potential with Manifold AI Learning. In a world driven by innovation, where artificial intelligence is shaping the future, one academy stands at the forefront of technological advancement. Welcome to Manifold AI Learning, where we are proud to present the LLM Ops Masterclass. Join us on a transformative journey into the heart of AI operation as we delve deep into the ML Ops, generative AI, data science, and artificial intelligence. From understanding the fundamentals to mastering the advanced techniques, our comprehensive curriculum will empower you to excel in the dynamic world of AI. So these are some of the testimonials that we have got from our previous learners of this batch. The LLM Ops Masterclass completely revolutionized the way I approach the AI project. I feel confident tackling real-world challenges and driving the innovation in my field. Another learner says that the hands-on projects were incredibly engaging and gave me the practical experience that I can apply in my career. I'm grateful for the opportunity to learn from the industry experts. So guys, don't miss your chance to be part of this AI revolution. Enroll in the LLM Ops Masterclass today and unlock your potential with Manifold AI Learning. In a world driven by innovation, where artificial intelligence shaping the future, one academy stands at the forefront of technological advancement. Welcome to Manifold AI Learning, where we are proud to present the LLM Ops Masterclass. Join us on a transformative journey into the heart of AI operation as we delve deep into the ML Ops, generative AI, data science, and artificial intelligence. From understanding the fundamentals to mastering the advanced techniques, our comprehensive curriculum will empower you to excel in the dynamic world of AI. So these are some of the testimonials that we have got from our previous learners of this batch. The LLM Ops Masterclass completely revolutionized the way I approach the AI project. I feel confident tackling real-world challenges and driving the innovation in my field. Another learner says that the hands-on projects were incredibly engaging and gave me the practical experience that I can apply in my career. I'm grateful for the opportunity to learn from the industry experts. So guys, don't miss your chance to be part of this AI revolution. Enroll in the LLM Ops Masterclass today and unlock your potential with Manifold AI Learning. In a world driven by innovation, where artificial intelligence shaping the future, one academy stands at the forefront of technological advancement. Welcome to Manifold AI Learning, where we are proud to present the LLM Ops Masterclass. Join us on a transformative journey into the heart of AI operation as we delve deep into the ML Ops, generative AI, data science, and artificial intelligence. From understanding the fundamentals to mastering the advanced techniques, our comprehensive curriculum will empower you to excel in the dynamic world of AI. So these are some of the testimonials that we have got from our previous learners of this batch. The LLM Ops Masterclass completely revolutionized the way I approach the AI project. I feel confident tackling real-world challenges and driving the innovation in my field. Another learner says that the hands-on projects were incredibly engaging and gave me the practical experience that I can apply in my career. I'm grateful for the opportunity to learn from the industry experts. So guys, don't miss your chance to be part of this AI revolution. Enroll in the LLM Ops Masterclass today and unlock your potential with Manifold AI Learning. In a world driven by innovation, where artificial intelligence shaping the future, one academy stands at the forefront of technological advancement. Welcome to Manifold AI Learning, where we are proud to present the LLM Ops Masterclass. Join us on a transformative journey into the heart of AI operation as we delve deep into the ML Ops, generative AI, data science, and artificial intelligence. From understanding the fundamentals to mastering the advanced techniques, our comprehensive curriculum will empower you to excel in the dynamic world of AI. So these are some of the testimonials that we have got from our previous learners of this batch. The LLM Ops Masterclass completely revolutionized the way I approach the AI project. I feel confident tackling real-world challenges and driving the innovation in my field. Another learner says that the hands-on projects were incredibly engaging and gave me the practical experience that I can apply in my career. I'm grateful for the opportunity to learn from the industry experts. So guys, don't miss your chance to be part of this AI revolution. Enroll in the LLM Ops Masterclass today and unlock your potential with Manifold AI Learning. In a world driven by innovation, where artificial intelligence shaping the future, one academy stands at the forefront of technological advancement. Welcome to Manifold AI Learning, where we are proud to present the LLM Ops Masterclass. Join us on a transformative journey into the heart of AI operation as we delve deep into the ML Ops, generative AI, data science, and artificial intelligence. From understanding the fundamentals to mastering the advanced techniques, our comprehensive curriculum will empower you to excel in the dynamic world of AI. So, these are some of the testimonials that we have got from our previous learners of this batch. The LLM Ops Masterclass completely revolutionized the way I approach the AI project. I feel confident tackling real world challenges and driving the innovation in my field. Another learner says that the hands on projects were incredibly engaging and gave me the practical experience that I can apply in my career. I'm grateful for the opportunity to learn from the industry experts. So, guys, don't miss your chance to be part of this AI revolution. Enroll in the LLM Ops Masterclass today and unlock your potential with Manifold AI Learning. Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining in on this live session on deploying the machine learning models to the production environment, and we'll be using the AWS cloud. So, folks, that's the agenda of this session. So, before we proceed ahead with today's agenda, so I want to know from you. So, what's your experience level when it comes to working with AWS cloud? So, can you please let me know in the chat window about your experience in AWS cloud and how comfortable are you with the AWS cloud? I see some responses. Okay. So Deeksha is a beginner, Rakshita is a beginner, So most of you, I can see over here, the responses, I can see that as a beginner. Okay, how about others? What's your experience level when it comes to working with AWS Cloud? So I have got few more responses. I like new. Okay, Ashwani says have got close to 1.5 years working in AWS. Okay, I can see few more responses. Deeksha over here says that it's okay. 2 years of experience, and I've got one more learner confirming that I've got the level or an expertise up to mid level. Okay, so we can see that we've got the learners from various levels when it comes to working with AWS. Okay, that's good to know, guys. So, what we'll be doing as part of this session is it's a very interesting session, I would say. So here we will see how we can prepare the model. We'll make use of the SageMaker environment and we will prepare the model. And once we prepare the model, we will deploy it using the AWS cloud. And for that, we'll be making use of the services like we'll be making use of the service like the Lambda function, API gateway, so that we'll be able to reach the machine learning model that we are going to build. So that would be the agenda. If you are someone who is new to machine learning or who is getting started in machine learning, or if you are a data scientist who is looking to upskill themselves in understanding as how to deploy the machine learning models using the AWS, then I would recommend you to stay with us till the end. Now, for some reason, if you're unable to stay with us till the end, don't worry. We'll be sharing you the session's recording once the session is completed. The session's recording will be made available to you in the Manifold AI Learning webinar page. Let me take you to the website. So go to the manifoldailearning.in, click on courses, and over here, there is a course that's called as the Manifold AI Learning Workshop. So in the same portal, we'll be providing you the sessions access and everything, guys, like all the sessions recording and even the source code that I'll be using as part of this session. We will be providing you in the same page so that you can come over here and access it for your reference. So that's how you can get the access to the various webinars. So in the same portal, you'll also get the access to the other webinars too, which we have conducted as part of our teaching journey with this as part of this weekend webinars. Okay, you'll get an opportunity to gain the access for all these in a single place. Okay, let me share it in the others as well. Yeah, I've shared you on the social media platforms too. Okay, guys. So now that you are clear about what we are going to do as part of this today's agenda, let's proceed ahead with our learning journey. Now, folks, I'll do my best to make it simple and to be able to follow along with each and everyone. And if something is not clear, feel free to let me know. Now, this session is made possible with the team at Manifold AI Learning. So, Manifold AI Learning is an e learning platform who's into the creation of the learning content on data science, machine learning operation, AI operation, generative AI. So there are various courses by Manifold AI Learning. The course which is relevant for today's session, I would say there are two courses. One is Mastering Practical MLOps for Data Scientists and DevOps on AWS. So this is a course where take you'll take your learning journey in understanding the fully fledged in understanding and building the fully fledged solution of machine learning on the AWS cloud, where you will be learning the key topics like understanding the MLOps, working with the AWS cloud, source control management with code commit, and working with code build, code deploy, code pipeline, Docker containers, SageMaker, working with custom models, infrastructure as a code, that is making use of the infrastructure as a code service in the AWS, working with step function and creating the SageMaker pipeline. So this course contains more than 30 plus hours of video content that is there for you to progress in the learning journey. I highly recommend you to check out this course if you're someone who wants to learn more and dive into the MLOps side, which is one of the most in demand skill that we have got these days. So do check out this course link. So there's a promotion that is currently running, which is if you use the coupon code of YouTube, you'll get the 10% off on the course price that you see on the site. The other course that I would highly recommend is the AWS Certified Machine Learning Specialty course. So this is a course which is there for you to master and be at the level which is expected by the AWS certification. Okay, so go ahead and check out this course. So this course that you see right here, that is the AWS Certified Machine Learning. So this is a course which will help you to prepare for your certification for AWS Machine Learning Certificate, which is one of the prestigious certificate for data scientists at AWS. If you look at it, the curriculum is created such a way which is in line with the examination preparation. That is domain 1, data engineering, domain 2, EDA, domain 3, modeling, domain 4 about the machine learning implementation and operation. So the curriculum have been created which is in line with the latest pattern from the AWS. Do check out both the courses and enroll yourself and use the coupon code YouTube to get 10% off on the prices that you see on the Manifold AI Learning website. Okay, so this is about our sponsors, guys. You can also check out the other courses by them. Like there is a course on LLM ops, and if you want to get the best deal, I would recommend you to check out the Generative AI Mastery, which is like a best deal, which has got more than 10 courses, I think 10 to 11 courses that you would get with a single package at an affordable price. Okay, so I'll also share it over here. I see few learners have requested about this link. I've shared you the link again. You can access it, folks. Okay, now that you are clear about the agenda, so let's proceed ahead in our learning journey. To start with, I'll start by logging in to my AWS console. So I've logged into my AWS console. So here, first thing obviously that we need to do is we need to start our machine learning session in the AWS. Okay, so yeah, there are a few learners requesting for the previous webinar link. Let me share you that as well. Yes. Okay, let's come back to our learning journey and let's proceed ahead, folks. So here, the first thing that I'm going to do is we'll start our SageMaker session. And from that SageMaker session, we would go ahead and create a machine learning model. So we have discussed, I'll say at a very high level in the last session, but I'll take you through in a step-by-step journey. And we'll be following the complete process. That means we'll deploy the model on a server, and we will reach that endpoint using the Lambda function. So I'll share you all the code over which is required for you to practice. I'll be attaching it on the link that I've shared you earlier, so you can get the access as we progress in this session. So let's proceed ahead, folks, and let's proceed with our learning journey that we have got. Now again, as we progress in the learning journey, if you're unable to follow along with me or if something is new to you, do let me know in the chat window or the questions tab, so that I'll be able to address it and make it simple to so that you can also get the most of this webinar session. Okay, so let's get started, guys. So first thing that I'll do is I'll start by creating a SageMaker domain. So I'll go to the SageMaker. Now, first thing that we need to do is we need to create a domain. I'll say create domain, and I'll say setup for single user. I'll click on setup. So this is going to set up the SageMaker domain for an individual user. That is a quick way to get started with this SageMaker. It will take a while to load the same. Now, in the meantime, I'll be introducing you with the data set. So the data set that we'll be using in our hands-on is this hepatitis data set. Here in this hepatitis data set, I've got various columns. We've got ID, there's a column called target, and there's a column called age, gender, steroid, and like this, we have got various columns in this given data set. So target is a 0 and 1, which is basically our output column. So you can clearly see that this is a task of binary classification. Okay, this is a simple task of binary classification which we are trying to perform. So with this binary classification, so we'll be making use of all the features and implementing it on our data set. That's what we'll be doing. So let's go ahead and proceed with the same, folks. So this is a data set. Let's check our status, whether the domain has been created. So it will take up a while, guys, for the domain to get instantiated. So once it is ready, we'll be able to see the status as active, okay? Or I think the status will be in service. That's what you would get. Okay, there is a question over here. Can we use a data set which will involve collecting a string input from the users for the ML model? Definitely, we can use a data set. So, but the thing is, when you collect the string data, before you send the predict on your model, so you have to pre-process it in the backend. You have to perform the pre-processing in the backend so that it will be converted into a numerical format, just like you have done that, like just like you might have done that during the training. Okay, that's something that you need to do. Okay, and I also apologize for one thing, guys. I think for some reason the attendee's name is coming as false. I think the backend team is working. Just ignore the name if it's appearing as false in your webinar. Okay, I think it might have occurred because of some name issue on the backend. Okay, do we have a tutorial for the practical approach? So we don't have it as part of our community session, but that concept I can share it to you. So as the domain is still getting loaded, so yeah, you can check out the code examples that is present right here. So this is an example where the users will mention it in the format of a what we can say a string value. Okay, the users will select the string value like a checkbox, or they will select as let's show you. Yeah, they will select whether they are graduate or not, or whether they have any outstanding loan or not. So these are all the string value which the user provides. So based on the string value, the values have been encoded to a numerical format. So you can check out this repository link which describes this approach. Okay, so as I mentioned, it's not part of our free community session. So this code uh, mm, is part of the MLOps course that is present on the Manifold AI Learning. You can check out. Oh, maybe this would help you. Okay, so you can check out the code. I think code itself will be suffice for your learning. Maybe if you need additional information, you can check that link as well. Okay, any other questions, team? Okay, now let's come back and check the status of the domain. Okay, now we can see that the domain status is in service. So that's a good news. So with this domain is in service, so we'll go ahead and we'll launch the SageMaker Studio. I'll click on Studio. So this is going to launch the Amazon SageMaker Studio. Now, inside this SageMaker Studio, we've got various applications. We've got Jupyter Lab, Art Studio, Canvas, and so on. In our case, I'm going to start the Jupyter Lab application. So for that, we need to create a space. I'll say create Jupyter Lab space. I'll specify the name of this space as hepatitis. Okay, I'll create a new space. We'll have to, okay, by default, it will select the instance. That's fine. Okay, uh, once this instance is available, we'll be able to run the space. Now I'll click on, okay, it's still stop. Let's wait. I'll just refresh the page to see the overall status. Okay, let me do one thing. I'll click on run space and I'll check what it is going to do. Okay, so it's trying to says that the EBS storage volume is too low. The minimum value is 5 GB. I think it is trying to get initialized in the back end. In the meantime, I'll select the image as latest and see what happens. Okay, so maybe it is asking me to specify some storage settings. Maybe I'll just mention as 10 for now and let it be. And let's check. Okay, now if I click on this run space after I enter this storage, so now the space is getting started. That is our Jupyter Lab environment. Okay, so I'll say open Jupyter Lab. This is going to launch a new session for the Jupyter Lab. Okay, so what we will do is we'll start by creating new IPython notebook. So I'll select the notebook of Python 3 and we would simply get started. Now that we have got the Jupyter Lab environment, so we can proceed ahead and get started with our model building. So first thing that we would require is the data. So let's just proceed and then as and when we require, we'll do the needful. So I'll start with the necessary import. Okay, so I'll start by importing the OS and I'll also import the IO. We'll import Boto3, which is essential for us to call the AWS services. I'll import pandas and I'll import numpy and then okay, I think then from datetime let me import the datetime. Then what we'll do is we'll import the SageMaker and I'll also import the execution role from SageMaker. I'm going to import the get execution role. So that's the function that I'm going to import. And I think, yeah, let's take off all the other imports. Okay, since it's the classification, so maybe we'll import some of the uh, uh, metrics that we would require for classification, and we can also import the standard scaler. I don't want to import the model because when we are working with the SageMaker environment, we'll be getting the model in the format of a container. So we don't have to import the model. I'll say from sklearn dot model underscore selection, I'll import train test split. This will split the data, and from sklearn dot pre-processing, will import standard scaler. So this is what it will be helpful for us to scale the data set. From sklearn.metrics, we will import the functions like accuracy score. Okay, so this will take care of all the necessary imports. From SageMaker, import get execution role. Okay, so this will take care of all the necessary imports. So first thing that we will do is we'll get the execution role which has been assigned for our instance. Okay, I'll get the role. So if I say get execution role and display the role, see, this is the execution role that we have got. Now we would go ahead and create an S3 bucket, and in that S3 bucket we will specify the data set. That means we'll upload the data set into our S3 bucket. That's a common thing that we do it. uh, like that's a common thing that we will do whenever we are working, especially with the AWS environment, because S3 gives us the flexibility. There will not be uh, there will not be much of the limitation when it comes to the storage, and it is highly scalable way to store the data. Hence we would go ahead and store the data in the S3 bucket. So I'll start the S3 service and I'll create a new bucket. And there's a question over here. Is there any codes that is available where implemented with Azure? Okay. So currently we do not have, from the manifold layer learning, we do not have any courses from the Azure. Definitely if your customer is using the Microsoft Azure, so it makes sense to deploy it on the Azure as well. Maybe in future when we plan or when we conduct the session, we'll definitely let you know how to perform the deployment in Microsoft Azure. So in the current courses that I can say is, so we have implemented the LLM Ops project with the help of Kubernetes. Maybe you can check out the course on LLM Ops Masterclass. So where we have implemented on the Kubernetes cluster. Now that concept will be applicable on the Azure as well. Okay. So we have not used the Azure ML Studio, but we have made use of the Kubernetes cluster. That concept can be applied on the Microsoft Azure too. All right, team. So let's come back. So here we would go ahead and uh, get the required things. So what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and upload the data set for my S3 bucket. Okay. So this is an bucket that got created when I created this instance. So for this bucket, I'm going to upload the file, that is the hepatitis.xlsx. I'll be just going ahead and uploading the file. So this would upload our data set to our S3 bucket. Now here, let's come back and let's note down these in our notebook. So I'll just get the bucket name. So the bucket name is this. Okay, so let's get the bucket name directly from here. I'll just come back and this is my bucket name.
Okay, and my data key, that is nothing but the name of the data set. It is hepatitis dot xlsx. Okay, this is my data key. So the overall data location, I can call it as, it's basically the S3 followed by your bucket, and inside this data key. Okay, this is how we have this is how we can specify the location. See, if you look at it, this is the S3 bucket name, and inside it you've got the hepatitis.xlsx. You can validate it. So that's the overall location. So I've just created as a variable. The reason that I've created in this manner, because when you're practicing at your end, so when you're executing the code in your notebook environment, replace this bucket name with the bucket name that you have created. Okay, that's how you would specify it. Now we'll read the data set from the S3 location. I'll say pd dot read underscore csv, and I'll just mention my data location. So this is going to read the data from that S3 bucket. This read underscore Excel, not CSV. Okay, it seems like we've got install S3 FS to access S3. Let me just go ahead and do that. It looks like it is missing. It looks like there seems to be an issue over here. Let me try to refresh this. I'll restart the kernel. I'll see if that helps. If it's having an issue, maybe I can directly go ahead and load it from the Excel file by uploading into the file explorer here. Okay, it looks like it has got some issue. That's fine. So I'll just upload the file directly to this explorer. Okay, and I'll just say, okay, so we have been able to read the data as a data frame. Okay, that's what we are able to do. So we have loaded the data set. Okay, so we have loaded the data set, and this is how our overall data set would look like. Now that we have mentioned, okay, as how does this uh, okay, so now that we have seen as how it would look like, we would go ahead and proceed with the next step, guys. So we have been able to create the data frame. So we can just look into some few properties. Data.shape. So we've got 155 rows and 25 columns. And let's go ahead and display the information. So if I display the information about my data frame, it basically displays what is the column name and what is its respective data type. So that's what we can actually see right now. And we can also get the target value. I'll say data target. Let's try to look into the distribution of the target. If we look into the distribution of this target variable, so the reason that we are trying to do or perform this value count check, because we want to check whether the distribution is a balanced one or not. So in this case, clearly it's an imbalanced data set. We've got the class 1 with 123 rows and class 0 with 32 rows. Okay, that is what we would observe right here in this scenario. Okay, now that we can see that it's an imbalanced data set, we can also try to visualize it. For now, we'll just simply proceed ahead and perform and proceed with our implementation team. Okay, so the way that I'll do is, so first thing is the column ID. So currently the ID column that we have got, it's an unwanted column. We can simply go ahead and drop that column first. So this is going to drop that column. Now, once we have dropped that column, we can also go ahead and validate it. See, we've been able to remove this column of ID. Now, what we can do is we can separate the numerical and the categorical column. So I'll say numerical column and categorical column, and I have already created a variable and I'll create it in this manner. So whatever the numerical columns, I've placed it as one variable, and the categorical columns that I've got, I've just stored it inside the another Python list. So it's a very simple activity. The reason that I'm doing this activity, because it will be much simpler for me to perform the pre-processing once I have got the type of data. So that is the main purpose of doing this activity. So once we have separated, okay, what's the numerical column and what's the categorical column, now we'll just proceed ahead, folks. Okay, so the next thing that I can do is, so whatever the columns that we have got, that is the columns, that categorical columns, I'll just convert it into the type of category. So currently, if you look at it, it is in the most of the columns that we have got is in integer format, whether it is gender or whether it is steroid, antiviral. So all the values that I have got, currently it is in the format of a numerical column. So the first thing that we are going to do is we will convert those column into a categorical format. So in order to do that, I'll just say data cat columns variable is equal to data cat columns variable. I'll say dot as type, and we will convert it into the category. Okay, this will convert the data type into the category. Now we can check the d types. So we can see that all the numerical columns is in integer format or float format. The remaining columns, which are categorical in nature, we have just converted into the categorical format. Okay, that's what we did right here. So we have just completed and encoded into the numerical and the categorical variables. Now once the encoding is complete, we can now proceed ahead and do the next step. So maybe now the very simple thing that we can do is, whatever the data that we have got, which is numerical in nature, that is 1 2 3 and integers and so on. So first thing that we need to do is we need to convert it into zeros and one. So a simple way to do it is by performing the one hot encoding. So I'll say data is equal to pd dot get underscore dummies, and here we'll specify our data set, and for the columns I can mention the list of columns for which I want to apply the one hot encoding. Okay, so for the demonstration purpose, I would go ahead and mention the column names in this manner. I'll have to use the column of gender, steroid, antivirals, fatigue. So these are the columns that we'll be considering in performing this activity of one hot encoding. And we are also specifying one more thing. We are saying this as drop first is equal to true. That means once the one hot encoding is completed, whatever the first value that we would get, it will be dropped. So we use this technique to reduce the number of columns in the data set. That is the overall intuition here, team. So once this is done, if I display the first few entries of my data frame, see, this is how the first few entries of this data frame would look like. So we have generated multiple columns of this data set. Okay. Now, once we have got the data, and we can also do one thing. Okay. I'll just say, yeah, we'll also specify the D type. So we can go ahead and mention the D type when it is performing the one hot encoding. I'll say convert it into the integers. Okay, let me just refresh. Let me just execute it from top. So now we have converted into the integer. Previously it was giving as Boolean. So now I've just converted into the integer format. Okay. Now what we can do is we can now go ahead and split the data set into two parts. Like we can make use of sklearn library and split the data set into two parts, that is training and the test. So let me just go ahead and do that. So we've got data and we also have the target with us. So I'll say xtrain, comma xtest, ytrain, comma ytest is equal to train test split. And here for the features, it's basically data dot drop columns is equal to target. Okay, and for the target, I'll say data target. Okay, then we'll specify the test size as 0.2 and we'll also specify the random state. So this will split the data into training and the test data. Okay, now that this is done, we would go ahead and uh, work with our data set. Now, whenever we are working with the data, okay, so what we'll be doing is this time we will convert whatever the data that we have got, we'll be converting it into the record IO protobuf format. So here, in order to convert the data in that format, I'll be preparing the training file. So in order to prepare the training file, this is the code that I would use. So here I'm mentioning as the train file, which the name I'm going to call it as the training data. And for this, I'm going to instantiate the byte IO, and this is the SageMaker common. Okay, import SageMaker dot. Let me just confirm the import. Okay, SageMaker dot Amazon dot common as SMAC. Okay, so SageMaker Amazon common dot write to dense tensor, and we are just converting the values that we have got into the float 32 format, and then we are writing it as a dense tensor. That's what we are doing right here, team. Okay, so we are converting both X and Y, whatever the data that we have got, we are converting into the protobuf format. So that's what we are going to do. And once that is done, we are going to push this training file. We'll upload it into an S3 bucket, and we are going to say this is my record IO protobuf location, and we'll just mention it over there. Okay, let's see. Where are we getting the error? To dense tensor data frame object has no value D type. Let's check. Okay, I'll do one thing. So okay, so what I did was, so whatever the values that we had, okay, I've just converted into the array, and I've converted into the float32 format, and typed it into the, and converted and pushed it into an S3 bucket. So here it says the pipe mode record IO protobuf training data is present in this train location, that is S3 bucket, followed by the training data. So this is how I have prepared the training data. Okay, this is how the training data have been prepared. Now that this training data have been prepared, so we can now proceed ahead with the further activities that we want to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So now you might be wondering is what exactly is this protobuf training data? Let me just show you the same. So if you look into the common data formats for training, okay, so in order to prepare for training, we'll have to process our data using the various AWS services like Glue, EMR, Redshift, RDS, and so on. So after that, we'll publish the data to an S3 bucket. And apart from that, in order to perform the training, okay, so we'll also have to perform some series of conversions as well as the transformation. Some of the commonly used conversions and the transformations are training data serialization, which we have to do. It clearly says that has to be handled for us, and training say data deserialization. So that is nothing but once we have serialized it, that means encoded in a specific format, this will the decoding will be done by the model itself, we don't have to worry. And apart from that, so training model serialization, that is something which will be handled by algorithm, and we have to deserialize this. So there are various types that are supported by built-in algorithm. So in our case, we'll be making use of a model. Let's say I think I'll be making use of this knn model. Okay, so for usage of this knn model, the type it supports is application slash X record IO protobuf format. Okay, this is the format that is supported over here by this KNN model. So here, like there are various modes. Okay, there are various modes that we have got. There's a pipe mode. So in the case of pipe mode, what happens is the training job is going to stream directly from the S3. So streaming actually provides much faster start times for training jobs and better throughput. Okay, so in the case of file mode, where your file will be present in S3 and it will be present in the training instance volume. So in such scenarios, so it will not be streaming, it has to copy the data. Whatever the data that you have got, it has to be copied into a separate location, and then once it is copied to a separate location, that is in the training instance, then it has to perform the training. So that's the scenario of the file mode. So in the case of pipe mode, it will directly stream from the S3 bucket. Okay, that's the intuition here. And there's also record IO format. In the protobuf record IO format, the SageMaker converts each observation in the dataset into a binary representation, and it loads it in the protobuf values. So it says that if you're using Python for data preparation, it is recommended that you use this existing transformation. So they have given some command right here which can be used. So in our case, what we have done is we have converted our data into the protobuf format. That is what is currently happening in the current code. So we'll convert it into the protobuf format. Now, once that is done, we have pushed it into the S3 bucket. Now we can go ahead and perform the training. So here, in order to perform the training, first I'll be loading everything. I'll say from SageMaker, I'll import image underscore URIs. We'll also load the model URIs, and I'll also load the script URIs. These are the three modules that I will import. Then I'm going to say container is equal to, we are going to say it as image URIs dot retrieve. Okay, for this retrieve function, we will have to mention the first thing is the framework. In my case, the KNN is the model. That's the framework that I want to load. And the second one is the region. Region is nothing but what's the region in which it's currently running. Boto dot session dot region underscore name. That's going to return the name of the region currently it's running, and followed by the version I'll mention as latest. It's going to load the latest version of the KNN model for the US East one. I think that's the current region in which that is running. Okay, so that's what it is going to do. Then once we create this container, I'll just mention my job name. So this is a job name that I'll be using it to run the training job. So I'll say hepatitis demo, and we would go ahead and specify the job name. Maybe I'll just mention in this format. Okay, this is how I would specify. Let me see if I have mentioned correctly. Yeah, I think this looks to be okay. So if I mention my job name, it basically should display my job name. Let me mention it. I think there seems to be a typo. Okay, so this is a job name that I would use it, and maybe we'll specify the output location as well. I'll just mention where exactly the output should be stored. I'll say output followed by the bucket name. Inside that bucket name, I'll create a folder called model artifact, and that's where I'll be placing the output. Now, apart from that, we are going to uh, go ahead and specify the hyperparameters. In our case, we'll specify the hyperparameters like the number of feature dimensions. I'll keep it as 19. Since it's a KNN algorithm, I'll use the value of k as 10 in this example. And for the sample size, we'll specify it as 10, 20. Okay. And for the predator type, this is the classifier. So I want to load the classifier. Okay, so this will load the necessary hyperparameters. And once the hyperparameters have been instantiated, we'll go ahead and create an estimator. So I'll initialize a SageMaker session. And for this SageMaker session, we'll create an estimator object. We'll specify the container, and we'll mention the role, the number of instance, The instance type I've mentioned as ml.m4xlarge. Output path is nothing but where exactly it has to be stored. And the input mode is pipe. And the SageMaker session will specify the SageMaker session. Okay, this will create the KNN algorithm from the ECR container. We'll set the hyperparameters for this KNN algorithm that we have got. So this is going to set the hyperparameters. Now, in order to launch the training job, we'll have to specify the data channel. So here I would go ahead and specify the data channels for training as well as the validation data. I think I've created for training. Let me do the same for the validation data. So this would go ahead and create it for the validation data too. Okay, now we'll specify where exactly is my training and the validation data present. Now, once we have the training and validation data present, we can simply go ahead and perform the fit. Model.fit will specify a data channel and the job name. So this would go ahead and perform the fit on the given data set. So folks, this will take around 3 to 5 minutes in order to complete the training. And once the model training is completed, we would go ahead and deploy it. In order to deploy it, I'll say knn model.deploy. We'll specify the initial instance count as 1 and the instance type is ml.m4xlarge. So this will be deployed on an endpoint and we'll get the endpoint name. So I'll just execute it so that let it execute and let it go ahead and perform the deployment. So I'll take a pause here, guys. So any questions on the implementation that we just did? So if you're new to the SageMaker, it's completely fine. You might feel lost, but I just want you to be with me to understand the overall flow. That is more than enough, guys. So are you able to follow along at a very high level? Please confirm. Thank you, Rakshit. Thank you, Dheeraj. Okay, Samtrupti, Ramya. Okay, thank you so much, team. Okay, see it says downloading the input data. Now, in the meantime, what you can do is you can come back to the SageMaker service and you can check the training. Under the training, you'll be able to see the training jobs. You can see that a new training job is in progress. Okay, so once the training job is completed, you'll be able to view the same. Now, what we will be doing is, as part of our hands-on, we will connect the SageMaker endpoint to our Lambda function. So for the demonstration of the same, I'll create a new Lambda function. I'll say Lambda, and I would go ahead and create a new function. So I'll author from scratch, and for the function name, I'll say hepatitis demo. Okay, that's the name that I would specify. For the runtime, I'll select the Python. And for the execution role, I'll create a new role with basic Lambda permission. I'll click on create function. Next, once we create a Lambda function, so we are going to trigger this Lambda function, and this Lambda function is going to make use of the incoming data. So the code for this Lambda function would look in this manner. So here I'll import the OS, IO, Boto3, CSV, and JSON. We'll read the environment variable. So we'll get the endpoint name from the environment variable. And for the data that we would get, we will send the data to the endpoint. And if the output is 0, I'm mentioning it as alive. If the output is 1, I'm mentioning it as die. So that's the very simple code that I have mentioned. Now, apart from that, we'll have to specify the endpoint name. So in order to specify the endpoint name, we'll have to go to the configuration, and over here, we'll have to specify the environment variable name. So it is endpoint underscore name. So I'll go ahead and I'll add a new environment variable with the endpoint name, and we'll have to specify the endpoint value. Okay, so that's what we need to present. So for now, I'll click on cancel because currently it is still in progress. In the meantime, we'll also have to provide the access for this Lambda function to interact with SageMaker. So this is the role that has been assigned to the Lambda function. I'll add a new inline policy. The service is SageMaker, and I'll say all SageMaker action. Okay, I'll click on. Okay, the other thing is I'll provide for all the resources. Okay, so I'll attach an inline policy where the Lambda function has got the complete access to my SageMaker. Okay, now once this is done, that means once the training is completed, so we'll be able to deploy it. And once we deploy it, we'll get the endpoint and we'll have to specify that endpoint into our Lambda function. So we'll come back to our environment variables and we'll create a new environment variable and we'll keep it ready. Okay, team. So uh, once it is deployed on the endpoint, then we can go ahead and send in the data. So in order to send in the data, we can make use of API gateway, and using the API gateway, we can send in a new data, and on that new data, we can generate the prediction. That's the overall intuition behind deployment of the machine learning models, guys. Okay, so let's wait. Now, any questions, team, on the topics that you have learned till now? Do you have any questions? So, team, in the meantime, what I'll do is whatever the code that we have used in this session, I'll be attaching uh, over here in uh, the place where you can access it. Let me confirm you once it's done. So I'm attaching to the webinar recordings, that is the manifold AI learning workshops. So you'll be able to access it under the heading of deploy ML models on AWS. So today's date is 6th April. I'll mention today's date too, so that you'll have an access. And I'm going to make an attachment right away. So I've uploaded the complete code over here in this page. So the way that you can access the source code is go to the manifold AI learning.in, click on courses, and over here, select the manifold AI learning workshop. And under here, you can see a new section has been added. Okay, let me save it. So if you come at the end, there's a new one that should be added. I think it will take a while to display in the front page, but you will be able to access it, guys. Okay, see, there's a new section that has been added, deploy ML models on AWS 6 April 2024. If you expand it, you'll be able to access the source code. So I'll be sharing you the code right away in the chat window. Please do check out the same and save it for your future reference. You can implement and use a similar technique for your personal implementations too. Okay, team. So with this, I can say we come to the end of the session, guys. Now, if you have got any questions, please feel free to let me know. If you're clear and do not have any further questions, please confirm by typing as all good. And I look forward to seeing you on our next webinar session. Now, as I mentioned, do check out the courses on the MLOps, practical MLOps with AWS and the AWS certified machine learning. So these are the two courses which are the best sellers that we have got right now. Do check out these courses and gain the access to it so that you can get started with your learning journey as soon as possible and to progress in the learning journey of MLOps. So thank you so much again, guys, for joining in. And you'll also receive an email with the link on session's recording. And I hope to see you on our next session, everyone. So take care. So if you have got any question, please do let me know. Thank you, Dheeraj. Thank you, Lakshman. Thank you, Samyukta. Thank you, Ramya. Okay, thank you so much, everyone, and I'll see you next time. Take care.